Welcome back. I want to take a look at where we currently stand in the House as we're almost about a week after the midterm elections. And I want to compare this midterm result back to what we had 4 years ago in the prior midterm of 2014, just to show you the crazy increase in voter turnout that we had on both sides. The Democrats coming into the night, they were expecting to get the majority and pick up somewhere in the range of about 25 to 40 seats. And that's basically exactly where the Democrats are. They've already picked up 30 seats, and there's still 8 seats left that are undecided. The Democrats sitting at about 228, the Republicans at 199. You have to get 218 seats to have the majority. And in terms of where the vote currently stands, the Democrats have a 5 million vote edge. They're at 53.5 million votes. The Republicans at 48.5 million votes. So again, this 5 million vote gap was able to translate into enough margin to get the Democrats the majority in the House. Now, there was this hidden blue tsunami that a lot of Democrats were hoping for that didn't come to fruition because the Republicans were able to match a lot of that enthusiasm from their base. Now, if the Democrats would have had this type of turnout and the Republicans just had a typical midterm voter turnout, then we could have seen the Democrats pick up 50, 60, even 70 seats. But again, the fact that the Republicans were able to have a lot of enthusiasm of their own were able to mitigate a lot of the damage, even though the Democrats were able to pick up rather significant gains, particularly in suburban areas. Before going back and looking at 2014, I want to talk about primarily where the Democrats were able to pick seats up. And it was largely in blue-leaning states that have suburban Republican districts. So they picked up a lot of those types of districts in states like New York, as well as New Jersey, Virginia, Michigan, and California. Again, these are either blue-leaning states or very blue states that do have suburban red districts, and a lot of those were flipping over. Now, I want to go back and take a look at what happened in 2014 to show you the difference in that voter number. So here we are back in 2014. And a voter turnout of only 36.4% is pretty pitiful, to be honest. I believe the turnout in this election was well over 50%, so a massive increase. And you can see back in 2014, the Republicans had 247 seats won, the Democrats at 188, and the Republicans getting over 40 million votes, the Democrats at about 35.5 million votes. So overall, Congress went for the Republicans by about a 4.5 million vote margin. So the gains for the Democrats compared to 4 years ago, already they've had about 18 million more votes that have been tabulated up to this point. In the Republicans, a pretty sizable increase of their own of about 8.5 million votes. And the fact that the Republicans were able to increase that enthusiasm and get those 8.5 million extra people out in 2018 is why they were able to avoid significant losses, more so than what they've already faced. So I just kind of wanted to show you a comparison between 2018 and 2014 and how this is, I think, a positive for American democracy overall and getting more people enthusiastic, turn out to vote, and have themselves heard. So I want to go back again to the 2018 map here before wrapping up this video. And first, talking about the biggest upset of the night of all 435 seats. Over at the New York Times, there was only one race that fell outside of their competitive district range that didn't go according to plan. So of the safe Democrat and safe Republican seats, the Democrats got every single one of their safe seats, and the Republicans got every single one of their safe seats, except Oklahoma's 5th congressional district here. It's the area kind of in and around Oklahoma City. Kind of surprised that this wasn't on the map of competitive results, given the fact that it is kind of around a city center there in Oklahoma. But again, if you were interested in what was the biggest upset, that was definitely it. And then of the lean Democratic seats, the Democrats picked up every single one of those results. And of the lean Republican seats, the Republicans picked up every single one of those except 2 races. Those were the New York 11th congressional district and also South Carolina's 1st congressional district. Those were the other 2 biggest upsets. And I want to talk a little bit about South Carolina's 1st congressional district. This is one where you had a primary challenge for the Republicans, and the incumbent actually lost. He's an incumbent Republican that was minorly critical of President Trump from time to time, and he got challenged by a Trump supporter, and that Republican Trump supporter upset win in that primary, but she ended up losing in the general election in what was one of the more surprising results of the night there. So if the Republicans would have stayed with their incumbent advantage and not voted him out in the primary, perhaps they would have been able to keep that seat, for instance. But I also thought that that was kind of an interesting race to talk about. In another race that's currently undecided, that's worth keeping an eye on, that's Maine's 2nd congressional district. It's an extremely close race right now, and because of ranked choice voting, the Republican has a slight lead right now, but once they go through the ranked choice, it could push this one in the favor of the Democrats, so we'll see if that happens after they tabulate this ranked choice voting result. I can't wait to see how that one plays out. But again, guys, a good night for the Democrats overall. The Republicans were able to avoid a complete wipeout with the increased enthusiasm that they also had. But again, the difference between 2014 and 2018 for the Democrats is already an 18 million vote increase. So that's just an insane gap in margin that you just can't expect. There was the enthusiasm on the Democrat side. We saw it in the numbers and turnout. And again, the fact that the Republicans were able to match a lot of that was able to limit the damage to some extent. So thanks, guys, for stopping on in for this House update video. Again, we're about a week after the midterm election results. And once we get the final tabulation, I'll do another video going over the final numbers. So thanks for stopping on in. Subscribe for more. Hope to see you back here for future videos.